Hey everybody, welcome on into your go-to show for sports here on the shore, the Delmarva Sports Insider. I'm Brandon Bossert.
I'm yours truly, sports anchor Devin J. Martin. We got a lot to talk about tonight, Brandon.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. Let's talk about what we've got in store for you tonight. A Henlopen and South rivalry renewed with potential playoff spots on the line and a fantastic finish in Delmar. And we have your top plays of the week, including a Bayside Championship clinching goal.
Yep, and an exciting boxing event taking place right here in Salisbury is happening this weekend. So we're going to break all that down on another episode of the Delmarva Sports Insider.
So we begin with the 3A in Delaware. We have Central and Dover. The Senators giving the Knights kind of a scare, at least early in this game.
Now, I mean, we expected the Knights to win in blowout fashion. I mean, Dover's been good over the past few years, not as much this season.
Taking a step back this year.
But the Sussex Central has been really, really good. But they turned out for their homecoming game against Dover. These two would go touchdown for touchdown with 2 scores from Mark Patterson of Dover and scores from Malik Bell and Jawan Sturgis from Central. So the game is tied. Now, Bradley Chavez throws a deep pass, and Joaquin Costa gets the catch and gets the score. Central takes the lead, Brandon, 21-14.
And Central would hold Dover to a field goal here, so that would make it 21-17. The Knights on second and goal pass off. William Harmon runs it in for a touchdown. We've heard that plenty this year. We'll talk about that in a second. Knights with the ball back, pass it off to Bell. He's going to take it and run all the way. No one's going to catch him. Central up 34-17. The route's on at this point. Central comes out for the second half, looking to add on. Pass to Bell. Ding! Ring it once again. He gets into the end zone. Central goes on to win their homecoming game. They advance to 7-1. And the thing about Central is 2 of the top 10 scorers in the entire state of Delaware, Malik Bell and William Harmon, according to reporting by Sean Green at WDEL, those are 2 of the top 10 in terms of points scored in the entire state of Delaware this year, both on the Knights in their backfield.
And that's a huge reason why they're 3A state contenders and maybe the best team overall in the Henlopen, Brandon.
All right, now let's go down to Delmar for an old-fashioned slugfest. Delmar hosting Laurel for the first 3 quarters. This was just 6-3, a defensive struggle between these Henlopen South rivals. Wildcats in the lead late in the third quarter. Delmar pinned back in their own zone. So time to bring out that kicking unit, but this punt would be mishandled. Ball is on the ground. Scrum ensues. Doesn't matter who's got it. It's Laurel's ball inside the 10. Wildcats had a tremendous goal line stand, so on 4th and goal, Laurel forced to bring out the special teams and settle for 3 here. Tie game. Delmar marches right down. 4th down. Here's how it ends. Touchdown by Khalid Schofield. Aiden McCauley on the passing touchdown there. And D-Town erupting in celebrations. The defense puts the final nails in this one with a snap over the quarterback's head. Delmar recovers in the end zone. And the Wildcats are 7-1. They have Milford and Woodbridge remaining on that schedule.
Delmar has taken a big step forward this year, especially with their defense and just their execution. They've been able to make really clutch plays in the 4th quarter week after week, and now they're 7-1. Now we got to talk about some of the other teams that you just mentioned, specifically Woodbridge. They were taking on Lake Forest today, another 2-way bout. Now both teams, they really wanted to win it tonight. Now we're going to jump to the second half. Woodbridge shut out at halftime. They're averaging 30 a game. They scored 0 in the first half, but Cameron Johnson gets the score and gets them on the board 9-7. But Lake Forest responds. Demarion Russ gets the handoff down the left side, breaks a few tackles, and scores the TD. So Lake Forest goes up by 9, and what would be an all-defensive game turned into an all-offensive assault in the second half. Now, they need the ball twice. They need 2 scores. They get one right here with 5:42 left to go in the 4th quarter. Jakari Banks comes down with the catch, runs it in. It's a 2-point game, 16-14. The Blue Raiders, Brandon, very daring. An onside kick. They actually go for it twice. The first time it worked, they get called for offsides. They do it again, and it worked again. They have the ball in their hand. Yeah, 2 onside kicks in a row, but it didn't matter, though. 30 seconds left. You see Andrew White sealing the deal for the Rhodes Spartans. They get the win with 30 seconds left on the 4th down as well. That was basically at their own 5-yard line. Woodbridge falls to Lake Forest 16-14. I got to give it some credit to the Spartans defense because they I mean, the Woodbridge Blue Raiders were averaging 30 a game.
Yeah.
They held them to 14, 0 first half points.
Yeah, tremendous job by Lake Forest. Woodbridge had just one loss. They were in the driver's seat for a first-round home playoff game, and now this could derail everything.
Yep.
We'll see what happens next 2 weeks. Now to Georgetown for Tech and Milford. Kyle Thompson's been one of the top scorers in the state for the Ravens, and he ties this game up with yet another touchdown. Meanwhile, a top play nominee right here, Tyjair Perry on the ensuing kickoff, bobbles, recovers, breaks a tackle, slips through the gang of Ravens. See you later. They're not going to grab him. Perry with the kickoff return for touchdown.
Look at
the Bucs
speed.
back on top. My goodness, this kid showed off quite the burst of speed there. Isaiah Jones with the handoff goes in for the score. Tech with a 2-point conversion. They lead 28-27. Thompson again. Done it for the Ravens all year. Does it again here. Bounces off the line and goes untouched. Sussex Tech led 34-27. And the defense finishes it off with the interception. A huge win for Sussex Tech. We haven't talked about them much, but they're 5-3. They have Woodbridge and Laurel remaining on the schedule. Milford, they started out strong, 4-4 now, and 3 straight losses.
Brandon, there's been a lot of close games today. I think as the fall weather comes in, these teams are really starting to lock in. We had a lot of close games also on the Bayside as well. But, yeah, I mean, wow, the Delmarva-Laurel game, very close. The Lake Forest game, and now this game as well.
The 2A District 3 is the best district in the entire state of football.
Competitive.
And it features the old Henlopen South. It's just great to watch on a week-to-week basis.
Now we got to get to Indian River in the 1A. Now, they have been dominant all season long in their division, and specifically in their class. They were hosting St. Andrews for their homecoming game. I mean, and this one wasn't even close. They destroyed them. Dylan Grease starting things off, getting the touchdown to Darnell Stokes. Score 6-0, and then with the ball again, Grease hands it off to Javion Chandler, and he bullies his way in for the touchdown. So IR adds to their total 13-0, and they're not stopping the punishment. Again, Grice handing it off to Davon Handy. He shakes some defenders, and he runs it in for the score. 20-0 is a score. St. Andrews, they didn't have a chance. Even on offense, they couldn't get anything going. They showed up, literally, and that was it. You know, here's an interception right here. Ooh. I mean, the pressure was all in his face, so I can understand why he threw that pass, but it didn't end well for them. And Grice takes advantage, so he shows you how it's done, staying cool and calm and collected in the backfield, and gets a touchdown throw right there. Indian River showing no mercy whatsoever. They would go out to shut out St. Andrews. The score, that's not a typo. 60-0. They advance to 7-1. Brandon, they have the 1A on lock.
Yeah, I didn't realize Indian River was going to win by 60 points tonight.
No, me either.
I know Indian River is good, and I know they're one of the top 2 teams in the entire state in the 1A, but my goodness, maybe the investigation being over with, they
let the load
all
off their
the
shoulders.
Pressure's off their shoulders now, and they're just able to go out there and play football, and good for them. All right, let's go to Seaford now. Seaford and Polytech from last night. Blue Jays starting off with a senior night last night. Quarterback Everett Burton here calling his own number. Seaford gets on the board first. Panthers with the ball later on. Quarterback Halim Edwards. He was in for Isaac Balsarac last night. Passed it off to Noah Walker. Walker got a trio of touchdowns yesterday. And Polytech would go on to beat Seaford 28-7. So another fantastic performance by Polytech, who was a semifinalist last year, and they could make it back to the Final Four this year.
They could. I still think IR is still the team to beat. Polytech they had a resurgent year last year, but wow. I mean, both of these 2 teams, they're going to go head-to-head, especially once the playoffs roll around.
All right, stay updated while we're at these games in real time. Make sure to follow WMDT Sports on Facebook and X right now. And a few more final scores from the Henlopen Conference tonight. First, Smyrna 46-20 over Cape Henlopen.
That is their best win of the season by far, and that's probably the biggest upset as well. Cape Henlopen was looking like a true title contender. Smyrna, they were struggling to get wins at the beginning of the year, obviously facing really tough competition, facing true title contenders out there in the 3A. But I guess when they start to show that they can play other Henlopen teams, they may still be the class of the entire state.
Smyrna's trying to get some wins and keep themselves in that 3A playoff picture. And then Cesar Rodney, 20-6 losers to St. George's First State Military Academy, 27-13. They defeat Brandywine. That'll do it for the A block. We're calling our first time out, but when we return, we're heading to the Bayside. Parkside and Queen Anne separated by a single point. That and more when Delmarva Sports Insider returns.
This is College Schoolfield. free safety and running back at Delmarva High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.